and move that out of the way. Welcome to the third and final part of Liquid Tinsel. And you're probably sitting there thinking, that nonsense still going on? Name of Christ, I thought he'd wrapped that. Well, I haven't. I'm still doing it. All right. Anyway, so yeah, this is the last one. But this is the one that's probably the most interesting to me, because I've said in the past, if you've suffered any of the other videos, that I've done it a kind of more modern way, what we're doing today, but I've never done it in a more kind of classical way. Now, I'm saying kind of, because depending how it's going to turn out, I've got a kind of a couple of kind of safety nets. Well, I'm looking at them as safety nets. They might not be safety nets, because they might just either make things worse or do nothing at all. But anyway, we'll see where we go. So what we're doing is mulled ale or spiced ale. And out of the three, we've all done mulled wines, we've all done mulled ciders, we've all tasted them and everything else. Well, I would expect most people have. I mean, they're easily available. You can buy them pre-made in the bottle around about Christmas time, and of course they're readily available if you ever go to a Christmas market. If you're really that kind of at loose end, that you find yourself, out of the asylum in a Christmas market, thinking what the hell's going on in my life. Then yeah, you've maybe come across it being sold at extortionate prices, and they boiled all the bloody alcohol off it anyway, so you know what I mean, all you're tasting is spice and shitty wine flavours. And trust me, it'll be shitty wine they'll be using. But anyway, so what we're going to be doing today is, like I said, the ale. But unlike the other two that are associated with Christmas now, the spiced ale has kind of died a death, because the spiced ale, or mulled ale, depending on what you want to call it, really should have been spiced ale, was a way of basically preventing wastage. And it goes back to the kind of 15th century when live beer, real fresh live beer, was the only option. Not like nowadays where you have all your filtered, pasteurised macro lagers and everything else. But this is going back to where beers had a very, very short shelf life, and it was a way of prolonging until you could get rid of it. So what they would do is they would spice it and sell it a little bit cheaper than the fresh stuff. And that was a way. Now, sometimes it was maybe topped up with alcohol, very rarely. But usually it's a case as though they did that to kind of mask it, because it was probably further on than what they actually thought it was going to be, and they had to kind of mask it up a bit. And they would basically add the equivalent of kind of moonshine or illegal kind of alcohol, rather than adding whiskies and all this kind of stuff, because it didn't really happen. But I've got whiskey there anyway. But what we're going to be doing today is we're going to be using the Fuller's Red Fox, because this beer needs some zhuzh in its life, because it's a tawny red ale. I've already reviewed it, and I just felt that it was lacking in malt. It needed a bit more malt and needed a bit more body. Just found it was a wee bit watery and just didn't have the malt levels that I would have wanted from it. I just found this beer lacking. Maybe they're trying to kind of attract more of the Irish drinkers, maybe the kind of Irish red ale drinkers and things like that. Because for me, it was just felt a bit too soft and just a bit kind of mamby-pamby. But I did have an argument with a couple of Fuller drinkers on the actual website and things like that when I gave my review on the website, and told them it was a load of piss. A few of them kind of came back at me, like, you don't know what you're talking about. That may be the case, was my response. But still doesn't stop him from being a load of mamby-pamby piss, you know what I mean? So there you go. And here's a big shocker. Like I've always said, is it's all relative. They may love it, that's fucking great. Well, I didn't. And at the end of the day, I paid the same price as you. You didn't get it any fucking cheaper. You didn't pay any more than I did. I didn't get it as a bargain. We both paid the same. You got what you wanted out of it. I didn't. So I'm quite happy to fucking say, well, I paid the same money as you and I didn't like it. I thought it was shit. So there you go. Get up. You know what I mean? Fucking idiots. You know what I mean? Right. So what else have we got? Right. There's no citrus because I don't want to add citrus to it. Because at the end of the day, the citrus wouldn't have been there. So I've got nutmeg. Little bits of nutmeg. I've got some ground mixed spice. They're all spice. I've got ground ginger. I've got ground cinnamon, but I don't really want to put too much into it because again, it's not supposed to be cinnamony. And I've got some cardamon pods because I do quite like cardamom teas. And I had to go and buy some of these. I've got loads of these. And I think they're all down in bloody Devon. Absolutely. I've got hundreds of these. Well, I've now got another bloody 50 of them, I think. There's another 50 in there. Don't even know how many's in there. No, 50. These are hopping basically bags. So what I'll do is I'll double them up and I'll put the stuff in there so that I don't have to kind of strain it so much because it was a bit of a ball ache. I enjoyed the mulled cider, but it was a bit of a ball ache to bloody drink, to be totally honest. And I've got the old whiskey just in case it's needed. So I'm going to be putting 2 bottles of this in, so there'll be a litre getting put in. So this is what we're going to work out for a litre. And what I'm going to use as a measurement is half a teaspoon of the powdered stuff initially and see how it goes. And she's like the bloody spoon off Aeroflot. You thieving old bitch. Look at it. She's next to spoon off Aeroflot. And saying that, she's nicked quite a lot of bloody things off Aeroflot. I expected her one time to come in with a full bloody uniform. You know what I mean? Or you go into her office and that, and she's got a whole bloody row of airline chairs or something like that from Aeroflot. She's, I don't know, she's a bugger for that. But due to the sanctions, that won't be happening. And I do have my wonderful scales, although, I was going to say hopefully I don't have to use them. Well, I might have to use them, I have to add the whiskey. That's what they're really there for. I'm not going to really do anything else with them, because they're a pain in the arse, and I've got the age-old bloody... It's plugged in this time. I made sure of that. So hopefully I've got everything. I've got glasses. I've got the blooming hob. No, don't switch on. No, switch off. There we go. Oh, there you go. It's kicked off now. Fucking bastards. Jesus. Anyway. Started. It's bloody started. Anyway, as you know, it's plugged in. So there you go. So what we're going to do is crack these open, get it fired at. Oh, bollocks. I'm sitting there thinking, I've got everything. I'll put that in there and then I'll add, and I can't because I don't have it. Seriously, forgot the bloody sugar. Fuck's sake, seriously. Bastards, absolute bastards. Right, I will pause this while I will go and get some bloody sugar. Can't believe that. Seriously, you sure as shit. Right. I'll be back in a minute. Right, that's me back with the sugar. You know the thing that really annoys me? I've actually thought long and hard about the sugar and how much I wanted to put in. Because when we did the mulled cider, what's that stuck to that bottle? Is that here? Anyway, I actually thought about the sugar and we put 5 spoonfuls, tablespoonfuls in the mulled cider, and I think we put, was it 4? Well, I think we did 5 for the mulled wine and 4 for the cider. But I don't want the beer to be that sweet. So I thought, well, what I'll do is I'll cut it down to 3 tablespoons. But what I'll do is I'll have another 2 sitting there in a separate dish. And then if I need to add more, I've got it. And then what I'll do is I'll just add a little bit more to taste and things like that. So what I'll do is I'll weigh it. Or whatever, we'll sort something out. But the whole idea is I just don't want it overly sweet. So I kind of planned this in my mind, get everything all organised, and I forget about the bloody sugar. I'm going bloody mad, I really am. Serious. Although I'm sure all of you kind of noticed. Right, anyway. Let's get this started anyway. Here's my sparge. My big sparge. Right, bottle opener. I think I got one for Christmas. There we go. Got it. There we go. Pop this bugger off. Jesus, it's fucking bending. Open up your arsehole. Right, that's one. A bit ropey, isn't it? Right, pour this in gently. Now with all the other drinks I've said you're supposed to start off with a drinkable drink. Now, while this is a drinkable drink and there will be people out there that actually enjoy this, that's fine, not a problem. I'm quite entitled to their opinion and their views. I didn't, and I was quite disappointed. And I was even more disappointed when I was, because I actually put too much faith in them and actually bought 2 packs of the bloody stuff. So I did 16 bloody bottles of this piss. Well, in my mind it was piss anyway. Seriously. Right, but again, you can do it with lighter ales, not so much with the dark ales. I would probably say a brown ale would probably be the darkest I would go with. I wouldn't really do it with stouts or porters, because that's not what the tradition really was. It was more of your kind of mid-coloured ales, you know. Obviously ambers didn't exist then and things like that. It's only kind of recently ambers really come out, but it was your kind of bitters, your milds, that type of stuff, your brown ales, that type of stuff. Right, so we'll get this fired on. I'll put the sugar in, give it a wee whizzy woo to kind of dissolve it, and then what I'll do is I'll make up some of these. So we'll get 2 out and we'll put them in for a bit of hoppage action without the actual hops. There we go. Let's look at that. Oh, wee tie pouches. I'm doubling it up because I just don't want to have to go through all the shit. That's why I've basically having to deal with either sediment or bloody big chunks of crap in there, you know. It's alright ciphering it and everything else, but it's a bit of a ball ache, let's be totally honest. It's a lot easier just to get wired into it. And the thing is, this video is going to go out tomorrow night, so there's a good chance, because tomorrow night's Hogmanay, or New Year's Eve if you're of the other persuasion, you know what I mean? You know? Your biggest celebration of the year is the Pride March. Oh, I'm going to HSBC Bank, seeing all the wonderful posters and the bunting. Anyway, right, let's fire this on. I'm going to do it at 500 watts. This is what it's good, because for these strange things, they don't give you the normal numbers and that, they just give you wattage. Now, the problem is the minute I hit function, it goes straight to 13. I'm wised up to this bugger now, and I know I don't have to panic, I can bring it down. There we go, 13. Put up 1,000, 800, 500. There we go. We're all doing good now, you see. And I'm going to slip, this is 3 tablespoons of brown sugar. I was thinking about going for the honey, because honey was also another popular one they used to do it with, because obviously honey was, was available. This is folded up like a bastard now. Should have went for the bigger pot. I'm sitting there thinking, oh shit. Come on now, calm it down, boys. Look at it. Jesus. Look at the head in that. That's gone well, isn't it? Should have went for the... See if that will calm down a bit. Fuckers. Right, anyway. Oh, fuck. I was thinking about going for it because that would have been more of a normal thing, but I decided not to. Because I thought it'd be easier to control. Okay, I'm going to have to pull this bloody stuff out in here, because right now I'll have a teaspoon this way. Right, that'll be enough. And then you get, spilled it on the table. Now it's gone. Seriously, you have to do a hell of a lot of cleaning before the wife comes back. Right, no, it's starting to go down a wee bit. I was starting to get panicky there, by the way. Oh shit. That was a bit exuberant. I don't want that up my bloody nose, seriously. So that'd be the end of the video if that went up my nose, seriously. There's no coming back from cinnamon up the navel cavity. Had that before. Don't ask how, don't ask why. But at the time I thought I had a very good justifiable reason for it. And while the girl was very impressed, what happened afterwards and some of the things that were coming out my nose afterwards, it didn't have the desired effect in the end. Never mind. That's a boulder. I'm going to put a wee bit more ginger in because the ginger can be a wee bit subtle. And I'm like, oh shit, I don't want that much. But we can always add more. You can always add another bag, as they say. Oh, lucky buns. Right. I'm going to put 2 cardamom pods in. I'm going to give them a wee open up as well. I'm not going to do fat ones. Oh, that's what she said. No, I'm going to put 3 in because they're not the biggest. Smell lovely though. And I like them. I think they've got a bit more of a thing to them than the sugar. Don't be a bugger. Oh, there we go. You split yet? No, you have. Right, there we go. 1. And I think they've got a nice aroma than the citrus. And that's why I thought I'd rather go down the cardamom route than the citrus. Because we've done the citrus to death anyway. And let's be totally honest, none of us really like citrus flavours in beers unless we're a bit freaky, you know. Right, so I put all these in. I don't want to put all that nutmeg in there, but I'll put a blast of it in. There we go. That'll get it. That'll get it. Sugar. Oh, that's that fucked off. Right, I'm getting on. 2. Where the fuck is that going in? Don't know. Jesus, let's hit the high road. Freedom, we're out of here. Done a Mel Gibson. Right, come on. Seal over your bugger. There we go. And what we'll do is we'll tuck you down inside there. It's starting to go down now, I think. Where does the other one go? No, tucked that in, it didn't be tucked in. It don't be a shit. Right, that's a bit better. And hopefully this will do a bit of good. And I said hopefully. Right. Did we have a good Christmas down there? Did they have a good Christmas? Santa get you? Did you get all the things you wanted? Did you get what you deserved? I got whiskey, as always. I've not got the heart to tell people don't drink whiskey and that, but they just keep getting the whiskey. Well, that's what I want them to think anyway. You know? Right, there you go. Right. Look, Jesus. Never thought I was going to go skimming and rubbing the pot. Right, let's see how this is doing. Get in there, you. You're supposed to. The reason why I went for you is because you also get weighed down better. Right, I'm getting the air out of it. And that's what she said. Get in there, you deviant. Right. Oh, bollocks. Forgot that bloody thermometer. Jesus God. So I'm not even going to pause it, I'm just going to head out. You can watch this bubbling away. Give me a shout and all that once it's kind of, if it's starting to get too close to the rim. That's what she said. Anyway. Back to more. I can't believe I've been fucking thermometer again, you good bastard. Seriously. Grab at the bloody wall. There's the bloody thing. You idiot. There is the fucker. There it's no. I can't believe that. You haven't organised and you forget the bloody sugar. And you forgot the bloody thermometer. You're telling you an absolute tip. Yeah, absolute tip. Right, I'm back. Ching chang. Right, let's see where we are. Sugar. Right. Oh, we're at 44 just now. Oh. So we are 41. 49. Started already. Jesus. You'd be all sitting there thinking, oh, here we go, it's a bloody repeat again. Having these shitty apparatus. Yep, you're absolutely right. Right, we'll switch this off. I'll get some delicate flavours. I want delicate flavours. I don't want too much of the old flavours. But I just want it to give an accent. I don't want it as much as you would get in mulled cider or mulled wine. And as a wee recommendation, I wouldn't make this with lager, not with how it's carbonated. Trust me, you put sugar anywhere near that, it'd be pissing everywhere. You'd have to have a huge big bloody pot to be able to cope with the reaction. I mean, you see what it's like with ale. Subtle. So it is. But you're picking up the hoppy bitterness. It's got a wee bit. This is now basically portraying a bit more hop. I've added sugar to it and heated it up. So obviously it's above obviously normal beer temperature that you would be drinking it at. It's kind of like lukewarm. Well, it's around about kind of 45, 50 degrees anyway, but you know. And you're picking a little bit of bitterness. But I think that's just the right amount of sugar actually. I don't think I'd want, for me personally, you can always add more. And I might add a wee bit of whiskey. Why is it showing 26? Oh, come on now. I'm picking up very subtle bits of the spices. And I just want a little subtle hint of spice. I don't want it, you know, so much in your face. So I don't. And then what I'll do with this, once it hits the spot there, I'm going to leave it for 20 minutes to kind of infuse, 20-30 minutes to infuse, and then what we'll do is we'll come back, we'll check out to see how it's gone and everything else and make any adjustments, warm it up, and maybe add just a little bit of whiskey just to give it a bit of ooh la la, because this beer's only 4.3%, so there's not really much there. So maybe get a bit of ooh la la, but a bit of a couple of wee drams in there, you know. Be rude not to, wouldn't it? Again, it's not normal, but it was done as a practice depending how bad the beer was. And seeing that it's Red Fox, then I think that kind of qualifies, doesn't it? Probably people are sitting there thinking, no, I'm Red Fox, I love Red Fox. Oh, good on you. You know. People out there that get turned on by strange sexual fetishes. That's alright for them, but don't expect me to join in, you know what I mean? It works that way, you see. Beers like sexual fetishes. What works for one might not work for the other, you know what I mean? You see, that's how you got to look at it. We're all modern nowadays, modern people. You know. I don't care what people go up to as long as they keep the curtains shut, you know. You know, be self-aware of what you're up to, and just because you enjoy it, respect that other people might not. You know, that's it. Nobody says you can't, but it's far better to have willing participants as an audience. You know, keep life simple. You know. Right. Oh, that's a bit strange, isn't it? It's a bit strange. Right. So, join me after I've faffed about with this for 30 minutes and we'll see where we are and we'll give you an update. So, back in a moment. Right. We're back in the room. Now, it's had a bit of time to kind of infuse and everything else. And I did add an extra tablespoon of sugar, just felt it just needed a little bit more because I don't know what happened, but this beer doesn't really have a particular bitter back end, but with heating it up it just seemed to be bringing more out from the hops than what it was in the bottle, and drinking it obviously at normal temperature. So what I've done is added that, and it seems to be quite nice now. What I want to do now is I want to take the bag out, and I want to add some what do you call it? Some whiskey, because I want a wee bit of burn on this. So I do. I want a wee bit of burn. Is everybody all prepared for New Year, New Year's Eve, everything else? See that the Edinburgh celebrations have been cancelled, which is quite good. Went to the local Asda today just to get some bits and bobs. I was actually getting my steak pie, actually. If you're not from Scotland, it's a big thing. Basically, we all got any supermarkets in Scotland with big, huge, big family steak pies from all of these different kind of butchers in Scotland. So I was getting my steak pie. But just as I went in there, I noticed when I was parking, there was a police van parked right out the front of Asda. And then when I went in there, there's this guy getting hooked up, you know, he's got a huge big trolley full of stuff, and it's all supposed to be bagged up. Always he'd be pinching something. So there's two police there, police if you're not in Scotland. And he's getting a huckle, which means he's getting arrested. And just as I walked in, but this absolute, really nasty little woman in front of us with an Asda. And I initially thought she was getting arrested because she was getting at that, and I think, no, maybe she's getting arrested, maybe she'd been asked to leave the premises or whatever, she'd been doing something she was supposed to. Turns out she was a manager. You know? Don't you ever use me as a witness, you know. That was her. You know, I mean, seriously. But she's getting it, blah, blah, blah. And then as I got closer, I kind of realised she screamed out, "You're banned from here for life. You're banned from this shop for life. In fact, you're banned from all Asda's." And she's getting all big licks, and the policeman was trying to take her away to get a statement, and she's still in it, his face and that type of stuff. And I'm thinking, festive cheer in Asda in Scotland, eh? Marvellous. Right. You'd be all happy to know that now, you know, but so I'm all happy. I've got my steak pie. Right. There we go. It's good to have your steak pie and put it on too early, haven't I? Right. Let's get it fired in. No, don't do that. But I'm just going to put 50. I just want a wee bit of heat because, of course, it's only 4.3%, you know. That's still 4.3%. I just thought it needs a wee bit more ooh la la. That's 25. Oh, straight on the bottom. I've been trying to get 25 for the last 3 nights. For some strange reason, I'm getting closer to 35 every time I poured. I just don't know what's going on. Must have shaky. And I've noticed this bottle's got a leak. It's gone down a bit since the last time I used it, you know. Oh, that at the top doesn't fit. So it's either lost of evaporation or it's got a leak somewhere. I don't know how that happened. It's got a crack in the bottle or something. Oh fuck, 61. Right, anyway, it's getting 61. Now you see why I don't get the 25 very much. I do actually intend to try and get the 25. And you know what? See, when I get the 25, give myself another 25 as a wee reward. We sit there, it's 50. Right, so we'll plonk this in. And again, you can use any whiskey or alcohol you want. Maybe a bit of rum would be probably quite nice. Probably down in the West Country, if they were doing this, they would have used a bit of rum down in the kind of more naval places. But I'm just infusing this, and I'm not going to reheat this up again because the whole point is that this isn't supposed to be a warm drink. Spiced ale is actually drunk either at room temperature or slightly chilled. You know, obviously, depending on... So it's usually the kind of similar temperatures you'd be serving the beer at. So the whole point was it's subtle but nice. So I think that's enough. Because I don't want big alcohol, but I don't want it to be... It's supposed to be kind of emulate ale. It's just to kind of make it last. And being able to be sold rather than it being spoiled and nobody buying it. So that's the whole kind of point of it. It's not supposed to be like some sort of kind of winter Christmas drink. I mean, maybe at some point, but originally it was supposed to be to get rid of ale that was not so good. As you can see, little bit of cloudiness, but not too bad. Get this, this bloody thing switched on again. Fuck off, go on. Worst bloody skills in the world. Right, smell wise. Well, you're getting the ale smell. With a little bit of whiskey, but the main thing is you're just getting some light tones of the spices. That's all you're just doing. Very light, nothing in your face. And again, all the aroma is just kind of quite light and gentle. Let's see what it tastes like. That's actually quite nice. And surprisingly enough, it's not really that sweet. So it's got 4 tablespoons of brown sugar in it. Again, you can do it with honey. I think it was more traditionally done with honey, but I just wanted to do with the brown sugar just to try and keep it consistent. But I would probably try this again with the honey and just see which is again a better option. But overall, this is actually quite nice. And I'm getting a wee bit of heat from the alcohol, but not too much. I'm not getting it right down there, but I'm just getting a little bit just kind of there. And overall, it's actually quite subtle, but also quite nice actually. It's a different style of drink. If you're not into kind of sweeter styles of these drinks like the mulled wine, which a lot of the times it's sugared off its tits, and even when the mulled cider is quite sweet. But this, there's a little bit of sweetness to it, but it holds it well. You're getting the maltiness goes quite well with the sweetness, and the whiskey and the spices actually go quite well with it as well. But what it will do is the spices actually work quite well with this. There's a little bit of bitterness at the back end coming from the hops, and it just seems to have been kind of, with warming up the beer, it's kind of activated these hop oils so that they're quite kind of prevalent just now, which is giving you, I'm not saying a huge amount of bitterness, but it's giving you more bitterness now than it was previously in the beer normally. So yeah, but yeah. I actually quite like this. I mean, I quite like mulled wine. I like the way I make it just because it's not overly sweet. It's a bit of sweetness there, but it's not overly sweet. But out of the 3, I would say the wine is the sweetest, then comes the cider, and then comes this. And I like the cider the way I make it, and I also like the mulled wine the way I make it. But this is something a bit different, and it is different because if you make it with more modern recipes, then yeah, they're piling on the sugar and it's just overly sweet and everything else. No, you're really tasting the spice and sweetness, and you're not picking up the hints of the malt and the beer and everything else. You're not really picking up the grain though, but you are picking up the malt tones, which is quite nice, and it works well with that kind of subdued sweetness. But I've tried it before, like I said, with more modern recipes, and while it was okay, I just found it was a bit too sweet and a bit too sickening. That, 1 glass is enough, Whereas I think a pot of this is just enough, to be totally honest. So yeah, I would say out of the 3, this is my favourite, just because just that little bit more controlled, and it tastes, while they both taste like they're kind of core ingredient, the wine still has a decent enough wine flavour. Same with the cider. This seems to be, you would class it as an ale with spices, whereas the other ones you would kind of, because of how the flavours are, yeah, you say mulled wine, but the kind of mulled bit seems to be a bigger part than the wine bit to a degree, and you feel that way a bit about the mulled cider, where this one though, if you took it as mulled ale, then the ale is more of an ingredient than the mulled. And I think this would be really nice chilled, and I want to try it when it's chilled actually, down a bit. So that's what I'll be doing. I'll be putting this in the fridge, put a little bit of chill on it, and honestly I think this would be really, really nice, chilled. Just drink it like a kind of normal ale, around about the kind of 10 to 12 degrees centigrade and it'd be perfect. So that's what I'm going to try. But anyway, this is the end of this series, and you're probably thinking, thank God. I know I am, because it's an absolute footer to do it on camera, and pain in the backside having to do all the editing, but I hope you got something from it, and I did anyway, because I got 3 pots of alcohol. So anyway, thanks for watching, cheers, bye for now.